Hey everyone, welcome back to another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we're going to be continuing, of course, our Katowice finals. This is the final game between MVPDream and IEM First. So, on the bottom left corner of the map Daybreak, we do have the red Terran player as MVPDream, and on the top right we do have IEM First LG, that being, of course, as the blue Protoss player. Now, so far the game previously was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of mismanagement in terms of build-up for MVPDream. He didn't really manage to get the actual composition needed to counteract IEM Fist's actual playstyle, but we shall see how this actual game continues. So far it has been a very interesting final match between both the players. Now, on other news, I did decide to release a few of my tutorials for the Kerbal Space Program, so that's pretty much out and running, and I am going to be starting to rerun the actual project, that being the Time Warp project for my actual Play Store app. So if you guys are using that, that should be coming out sometime soon. So if you guys are doing that, it's going to be pretty cool. Now, anyways, back to the actual game itself. Of course, he might actually lose the actual SCV here, which is going to be pretty funny. But he could have actually continued to attack, though, but it seems that the probe did retreat. He's going to be finishing off the supply depot. We do have, of course, the SCV here trying to harass a little bit, keeping that production line just a little bit down. Nothing really much you can do with this, as we do have the Zealot, of course, chasing down the SCV, which is going to be going on for still quite a long time. And we do have one of the Marines here, should be able to chase down this actual probe, as he does manage to spot that out, and he did counteract it. Does he manage to kill it? No, not yet. It has just a little bit of health left. Will he actually be able to kill this probe? It'll be very interesting. That probe just got away with its life. Very interesting. Now, anyways, back to the game itself. We do have, of course, both players going for the second base, that being the actual command center for MVPDream, and the second nexus for IEM First. We do have, of course, the pylon down here. It's a good place to put down the pylon, because you do see any drops coming in from a Terran player. And again, we do have another pylon here. Again, another good spot to keep your pylons in case a drop does come down there. But, you know, sometimes depends on the Terran player. He sometimes does manage to stick the actual drops completely to the edge of the map, so this pylon won't spot maybe the drops, but this pylon will spot any hidden rushes coming in or hidden tanks coming in from the side. The SCV is going to provide, continue to be a nuisance, which is going to drop very quickly. Now, so far, let's see the actual build-up. We do have one rack, bunkers already up, 2 more racks up as well. So he's building up a little bit of an army just to be sure he's on the safe end. We do have 6 Marines going around. As you do see, this pylon will actually pay its worth, as he will see the actual 6 Marines coming through the actual coming by the pylon and moving forward. So as he does presume that maybe IEM First has a person on the Xel'Naga towers, that's why they usually do take up the side, you can say, side approaches towards the base. This pylon will obviously flag that he is coming in from here with 6 Marines. He's going to lose a pylon. It's 100 crystals, a little bit of waste of resources, but that does sort of show where his actual units are located, and that's the end of the pylon. Of course, he does know, Dream does know, that probably some counter is going to be coming, so he's moving back, and here comes the Stalker. He won't be able to kill this many Marines, but he will be able to kite them and maybe kill them, but of course Dream does know that, so he's not even going to bother trying to deal with the actual Stalker. So he's going to be moving back down. The Stalker, of course, trying to pick off as many as possible, keeping at a distance. As you do see, he's going to try to keep the distance as much as possible. Stim research is going to be completed, including the reactor as well, so he is upgrading the actual racks. And finally, we're going to hopefully go, no, we do have a reactor, so the starport's going to be hot swapping with the reactor. So it's going to be a bio build by MVPDream, same as he did in the last game. Of course, robotics facility is up and running. We do have 2 observers in play already. No, I think that was just the first observer in play. And 3 racks, and we do have, 3 gateways and a double fort. So we're going to have the 1-1 upgrades. So IEM First is going to be going for those upgrades pretty early on in the game, but a little bit delayed though, while MVPDream is already starting off with his 1-1 upgrades, including the combat shield. So he did salvage the actual bunkers. Since we are at the 8-minute mark, the bunkers are not really needed. No rush is going to be happening here. Stalker, of course, will easily mop up the actual Marine there, and he's going to be kiting as much as possible before they actually reach the actual Xel'Naga tower. And that's going to be the end of the stock. So center map, pretty much each person has his own little thing on the center map. We do have Marines placed here, and another Marine is going to be probably scouting out just to be sure if there's any hidden expansions there as well. Now, for both the players, we finally have a Colossus for IEM First coming into play, and the actual armor level 1 is still again a little bit behind though, while MVPDream already with the double medevac. So he's going to be taking care of the destructible debris in the center of the map, so he doesn't have to go all the way around and he can go directly from the center of the map. Observer, of course, clearly seeing that this is coming in, so he's going to be positioning in a nice higher top position where it can't be that easily scouted out and scanned. So again, a very nice position. He will see that this is coming. He's going to be starting to warp in a couple of more units, as we do have a good amount. We do have 3 sentries fully energized, so a couple of force fields here will prevent this actual push from coming in. So we're going to have these force fields now, a little bit too late though, but he does manage to actually place the force fields down very, very effectively, of course, and I do believe more than enough to be able to take care of these Marines. Again, very, very nice placement, and this Colossus should pretty much mop up the rest of these units, forcing MVPDream to move back. Again, you do see the Observer being used to the maximum at a very, very cost-effective play and strategy being placed down by IEM First and his actual Observer. So really, really good on him though. We do have another pylon here, and the Observer, of course, being able to see what's happening down here as well, and another pylon on the top right side. So really, IEM First is placing down more pylons as well, so he might be actually thinking of pushing forward, maybe being a little of more pushing in, being a little bit more aggressive than normal. We do have 2 Vikings, of course, to counteract those actual Colossus that are being built by not MVP, by IEM First. And finally, those upgrades, as we did see. Now the Twilight Council, of course, giving the Zealot charge, so the Zealots will have a little bit of a speed boost. And maybe First is, I don't think he's actually building the armory for the actual mech. He's building the armory to continue his actual upgrades. So we should have the double, yeah, we do have the double engineering bay. So the armory is pretty much placed down to continue upgrading the actual bio build composition. So it's going to be a Marauder, Marine, and a Viking push by MVPDream versus the actual Zealot, Stalker, and Colossus build by IEM First. So far so good. We do have, of course, the factory here, and I do believe there was the Observer as well. Here comes the Observer. The other Observer got moved back, so the Observer, of course, will be able to see that there's the factory here, and the units are streaming across the map. He will spot this, of course, with the actual Marine, and I think he'll actually start to know he does have a drop here. So will a drop be coming in? I do think a drop was coming in. No, it wasn't. A drop is coming in again, so unfortunately we do have plenty of Stalkers to deal with that. He will spot that out, of course, and decide to retreat and move back. So he's going to be redropping, and we do have 3 Zealots in to harass the actual 3rd base. So again, a very nice scout out by IEM First, really, really effective. The command center, of course, being blocked just by 70 HP. So again, very, very good on IEM First to be able to delay that actual push, that actual build by MVPDream. So he's going to be moving down to his actual 3rd nexus to keep it defended, and going to be continuing moving forward. I think we might actually start seeing a push coming down from IEM First, as he is seeing that MVPDream is stretching himself a little bit too thin, being a little bit too greedy, finishing off those bases and continuing to expand. Unfortunately, his actual Marines are misplaced there on the wrong side of the actual map. Do we have the Observer? Did the Observer actually spot them? No, not yet. We do have 1 Observer in the center of the map here and another Observer here. Scan, of course, gets placed down, and here comes the push towards MVP's base. He really has nothing at his base at all, so this is going to be a really all-in. Finally, he'll actually manage to spot that out. The actual Archons are being morphed into play. Unfortunately, he did see that there is a nice little build-up of Protoss coming in, so it's going to be pushing him back. Finally, we do have those 2-2 upgrades. That's pretty much a decoy for the actual drop that's going to be happening. He's going to be, of course, try to retreat towards the actual base, followed by the actual drop here. I don't know why he's going for the pylon. We do have a couple of Zealots here, more warpins happening. This drop is pretty much going to be a waste. There's nothing really he can do there. Unfortunately, he didn't drop it in the back end, causing more damage to the actual workers and probes that he does have there. Now, as you do see, no Colossus at all in terms of this composition, so a lot of Vikings pretty much misplaced in terms of resources. We should see a couple of force fields being placed down. Now is the time to place the force fields. Will IEM First do that? No, unfortunately not. He didn't put the force fields. Now he did put 1 and a second one. Finally, he'll manage to displace the actual composition of the units. Of course, the Vikings did jump down for a little bit, but nothing really much is happening here. He might actually be able to take out this command center so far. I think he actually will be able to do that. 140, 190, it might actually burn out unless he does get SCVs as quickly as possible to repair that, which he will do. So he does manage to save the actual command center. Finally, Cloak Research coming in, Ghost coming into play as well. So the Ghost will prove to be very, very effective in terms of dealing with this composition. As you do see, we don't have any more of the Colossus in play. It's more of a High Templar, Stalker, and Archon push. So the Psionic Storm I don't think has been out yet. I haven't really noticed. The War Prison as well is on the way. So we're going to see a little bit of harass coming down from IEM first. So the harass is going to be pretty much unanswered here. It's going to be proved to be very, very effective, especially it's going to be Psionic Storm, I do believe. I'm not sure. We shall see exactly how he decides to use this. Psionic Storm harass, very, very effective. He should be able to deal a lot of damage on these actual SCVs, and of course he does pick them up and leave immediately, proving to be very, very effective. We do see more and more of these Psionic drops. Of course, this time he's prepared for that aggression is going to be coming. Hopefully he'll be able to defend it this time. The last time it did survive. This time he actually did move it away due to that scan. He did spot that out earlier, another scan being placed down, so the command center is going to be moving him back into place. So far MVPDream is stretched a little bit thin. Of course he is being greedy with those additional bases, while IEM First is catching up finally with his base in terms of upgrades as well. He just thought it is 1-1 upgrades. No, we do have a 2 upgrade for the actual weapons, but the ground shield is a 1, the thermal lats, and finally the Colossus in production, as he does see that it is a very, very heavy bio build so far. But in terms of composition, I would say that MVPDream is a little bit ahead in terms of having those Vikings already in play, having that air superiority, so I don't see that that's going to be an issue. Not enough Stalkers to deal with that at all. He does have a lot of Zealots, so the ground force is pretty much superior for IEM First, but not really able to push back. We do, of course, have that missile turret, which should be pretty much picked off. I don't know if he doesn't cancel it and move back instead of losing that resource. Will he cancel it? Unfortunately, he doesn't cancel it, is moving back. And finally, the actual planetary defense is going to be completed, so he won't be running about a lot. We're going to have to be seeing a lot of splits here because we do have those Archons in play, including those Ghosts as well. So those Ghosts are going to be proved to be very, very effective in terms of those Zealots. So we finally have a Ghost mix, and will we finally see those Colossus moving down? So far no Colossus at all. We're going to move them down. We do have the first one being completed. Drones of course being moved down to the actual base itself. A little bit of harass happening there, nothing really much. We do have Dark Templars of course supporting that base as well, and that's pretty much it. More Marauders, more Ghosts, and of course Vikings as well being put into the mix. Again, a lot of High Templar have been thrown into the mix as well to throw down those Psionic Storms. As the way MVPDream is playing, they are very heavily grouped up, so this is not going to be very effective in terms of playing against IEM First. All First has to do is just place down maybe 2-3 Psionic Storms, and that would be the end. Now IEM First is still, let's take a look on the 3-2 upgrades, while we do have the 3-3 upgrades happening for MVPDream. Of course that Marines get taken out, giving away his position, so he will be moving back with his actual army. Unfortunately he didn't really do anything. We do of course have that planetary, so hopefully that planetary will be able to buy some time. Finally the actual composition and the actual bio army is here, still clumping him up unfortunately though. So really IEM First having the advantage here. You do see he's moving with the Archon first only, just in case he can get away a couple of Psionic Storms for free, even if the Archon does drop. But the amount of damage placed down by that Psionic Storm will be worth the actual sacrifice. Now the cloak research has been completed, Mobius reactor for the actual Ghost units, and will we actually see a more aggressive push by both players? So far it's a little bit of a tug and war, push and pull by both players, nothing really much happening. Of course we do have one Marine here, Marine strategically placed throughout the map to be sure. Another actual harass is moving in. We do have probably a bunker being placed down here, a little bit too late though. These 2 Marines won't be able to do much in terms of dealing with these actual SCVs, so the SCVs are going to be pretty much mopped up. He is going to be trying to keep that actual 1 Marine alive. All those Marines do drop. He's going to be trying to retreat, back it up with a little bit of Marines, and he's going to be re-pushing on both the fronts now moving forward. Of course the Ghosts are going to be taken out with the Psionic Storm. A nice split, unfortunately not enough at all, not enough Vikings as well. Vikings he did manage to move them on to different places possible. SCVs of course being pulled down to actually repair the planetary, forcing him to push back. Now he really has nothing in terms of dealing with these actual Vikings, I mean with the actual Colossus, so that is the end. I do think he might actually hold up, but not once the Zealots actually move in. The planetary of course is going to be trying to continue to heal up. I don't think that's going to be happening, but the Ghosts are taking care of the actual Zealots very nicely. Now this is it, the planetary will fall, not enough SCVs healing it up, and that is it. IEM Fist is pretty happy with that, moving back of course, and that is the end. A lot of Warpins coming in, a lot of High Templar and more Zealots, and so far it's not looking up at all for MVPDream, as he did manage to lose his planetary and his actual center map foothold that he does have in this actual game. Finally 3-3 upgrades are going to be completed, while IEM First already has his actual upgrades. So again, he's a little bit behind in terms of upgrades, but just about now they're going to be moving into play. And he did, of course, give away his position in terms of attacking this, so he knows his actual main army is here. He's going to be trying to regroup. He needs more of these actual Vikings to deal with the actual Colossus coming into play, and they are going to be, of course, moving down for this orbital command. I don't know why he didn't repair it. This orbital command is going to drop very, very quickly. And that is the end of the actual orbital command. This is the second orbital command he's going to be losing again. MVPDream going to be falling very, very much behind. Now finally the Vikings moving forward, taking care of these actual Colossus. The Stalkers trying to target fire a couple of Psionic Storms as well. And the Archons, of course, throwing down a little bit of splash damage. MVP calls it a GG, and this is it for the final game between both these players. Unfortunately, again, MVPDream not being able to counteract the mass Colossus. If he had maybe more Vikings, that would have been counteract. But again, it's much easier to speak it than try it out. So far so good. We do have plenty of gateways. So this was it for IEM First. He did put down his foot, and he did want to make it just an all-in. So as always, happy gaming. See you guys next time. Bye.